So, what have we got here? We've had a typical news week. I've covered some of it, but more recordings about Trump and Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen affairs, more questions on Trump's tax returns this week, and more questions on what happened in the North Korea meeting, except they ignored the missile being fired. A deluge of shows, articles, blogs on Trump meeting with Putin, public threats made by public figures against the government, and the deep state making Trump lie about the Russian alleged election rigging. Demonstrations all over the country arranged at very short notice, which you can't do, I might add, involving known rogue disturbance groups. Questions on trade, questions on the economy, the legal system surrounding judges, fake claims about mistreatment of children collected at the border, agency people coming out of the woodwork making this claim and that claim with little or no concrete evidence. We have agency people redacting any type of evidence on one hand but creating false evidence on another. Portal people falling over themselves to create a narrative against one person or one group. Then, people can say what they like about Trump, and I have said plenty myself over certain policies that I don't agree with, but something is radically amiss here, is it not? What we've all got to ask is, where was all the outrage, the questioning, the narrative steering during the 8 years of Obama, or during the time of Bush Jr., who, let's not forget, rolled us into 2 wars, which we're still paying for in terms of cost and also lives, one of which is now 15 years after Bush Jr. stated mission accomplished, which clearly wasn't about the war, was it? Was it still going on? But what it wasn't likely to do is it was more about siphoning of oil and the resources out of that region. Where was all the narrative then? Or the Clinton administration, who, let's not forget, committed his sexual acts inside the White House with a Mossad agent, whilst Trump slept with a slapper 13 years ago in his private life. That incident, whether it's real or not, is the business that belongs to Mr. Trump and his wife, and should not play any part of whether he's eligible to run the country because he slept with some slapper. It was 11 years before he became president, and yet they're still pumping it, pardon the pun. But Clinton slept and committed all kinds of sexual acts inside the White House as the president, and yet he's parading around doing book tours and speeches, and the media's fawning all over themselves. Well, for someone who is widely dismissed or ridiculed by many, it begs the question, he must be doing something right to draw in such derision from the establishment, does it not? Or maybe they're just masking over the Uranium One deal and the Russian payments to the Clinton Foundation. Not the Trump Foundation, the Clinton Foundation. John McCain, who is battling allegedly a deadly form of brain cancer, has been described as hanging in. This is to do with his daughter reporting she will return to see him and her mum next month, said Cindy McCain. And Meghan McCain, who is a political commentator and a co-host of the ABC's The View, go figure, it's the females again that are put in place, provided the rare health update on Thursday night during an Instagram broadcast from her home in New York. Now, hanging in being the operative word with Mr. McCain. Hanging in. Reality is, who cares about John Treasonous McCain, aka Mr. No Name? Nobody. Barack Obama, another clown, and a far worse clown than people realise. That's what I've found out over the past few weeks. The number of things that he's involved in is really bad. I knew he was involved or coerced to be involved to a point, but I didn't realise the depth of what he's involved in. But he made a statement. Now, 3 years ago, I visited Kenya as the first sitting American president to come from Kenya, he said. Yes, he was born in Kenya, in a place called Hawaii, which is in Kenya. So he was right in saying he was born in Hawaii, but not Hawaii in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but in Kenya. Like I said, I can't tell you currently how bad this man has been. It's almost Clinton-esque with his Muslim Brotherhood crusade that was pouring through the Mexican border, Saudi nationals with Oman passports landing in Venezuela and then heading north. And then the billions in cash to Iran, not Iran the country, the rogue elements, and a whole heap of other things that I can't mention yet. Where they got recently is his male partner, yes I did say that correctly, can't stand the sight of him any longer. Well, Michael, come forward and spill the beans on Portal People TV. Then we have a real show on.